everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome to the Gelcast. This show is a quick movie release schedule show to kind of give everybody an idea what movies are coming down the pipe in the next 4 to 5 years from the big major studios. There's a lot of misinformation out there and rumors about movies that are coming and what's not coming, like the Twilight sequel. That is not happening. No more sparkly vampires, okay? So we're going to go through this list real quick to give you all a good idea of what is really being made and things you can expect to see in the near future. Okay, so the release schedule starts about a week and a half from now with Rogue One, a Star Wars story. After the formation of the Galactic Empire, the Rebel Alliance recruits Jen Erso, played by Felicity Jones, to work with a team including Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, to steal the design schematics of the Empire's new superweapon, the Death Star. The film takes place in the Star Wars timeline right before Episode 4, A New Hope. It is not a sequel to The Force Awakens. The film also stars Ben Mendelsohn as Imperial Director Orson Krennic, Mads Mikkelsen as Jen's father, Galen Erso, Donnie Yen, Alan Tudyk, and Forrest Whitaker. Rogue One is directed by Gareth Edwards and hits theaters on December 16, 2016. Assassin's Creed. Career criminal Caleb Lynch is rescued from his own execution by Abstergo Industries, the modern-day incarnation of the Templar Order. He is forced to participate in the Animus Project and relive the memories of his ancestor Aguilar de Nara, an ancestor in the time of Spanish Inquisition. As Lynch continues to experience Aguilar's memories, he begins to gain the knowledge and skills necessary to confront the Templars, age-old enemies of the Assassins, in the present day. The film stars Michael Fassbender in the leading role, Marion Cotillard, and Jeremy Irons. Assassin's Creed opens on December 21, 2016. Passengers. The spaceship Starship Avalon, on its 120-year voyage to a distant colony planet known as Homestead 2 and transporting 5,259 people, has a malfunction in 2 of its sleep chambers. As a result, 2 hibernation pods open prematurely, and the 2 people that awake are stranded on the spaceship, still 90 years from their destination. Aurora Dunn, played by Jennifer Lawrence, is a journalist from New York City who is interested in cosmic travel. Jim Preston, played by Chris Pratt, is a mechanical engineer from Denver who wants to leave Earth and bought the ticket for the journey. The two soon discover that the malfunction that caused them to be awoken prematurely is not the only problem afflicting the huge spaceship, and as they try to find a way out, they soon find themselves falling in love. Passengers also opens on December 21, 2016. 2017 brings a load of films as well, including Underworld Blood Wars. Vampire death dealer Selene, played by Kate Beckinsale once again, continues her struggle against the Lycan clan and the vampire faction that betrayed her, with both sides trying to use the blood of her and her daughter to become vampire Corvinus hybrids. After hiding her daughter, Selene, David, and his father Thomas attempt to end the eternal war between Lycans and vampires, though it may cost Selene her life. Underworld Blood Wars opens on January 6, 2017. Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage. Extreme athlete turned government operative Xander Cage, played by Vin Diesel, thought to be long dead, comes out of self-imposed exile and is set on a collision course with deadly alpha warrior Zhang, played by Donnie Yen, and his team in a race to recover a sinister and seemingly unstoppable weapon known as Pandora's Box. Recruited an all-new group of thrill-seeking cohorts, Xander finds himself caught up in a deadly conspiracy that points to collusion at the highest levels of world governments. The film also sees the return of Samuel L. Jackson as Agent Augustus Gibbons. Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage, arrives on January 20th, 2017. Resident Evil, The Final Chapter. Picking up immediately after the events in Resident Evil Retribution, humanity is on its last legs after Alice is betrayed by Wesker in Washington, D.C. As the only survivor of what was meant to be humanity's final stand against the undead hordes, Alice must return to where the nightmare began, Raccoon City, where the Umbrella Corporation is gathering its forces for a final strike against the only remaining survivors of the apocalypse. In a race against time, Alice, once again portrayed by Milla Jovovich, will join forces with old friends in an action-packed battle with undead hordes and new mutant monsters. Between losing her superhuman abilities and Umbrella's impending attack, this will be Alice's most difficult adventure as she fights to save humanity, which is on the brink of oblivion. Series regulars Ali Larter and Sean Roberts also return. Resident Evil: The Final Chapter opens on January 27, 2017. Space Between Us. The first human born on Mars, whose astronaut mother was discovered pregnant on the voyage and died in childbirth because of Mars gravity, travels to Earth for the first time, experiencing the wonders of the planet through fresh eyes. He embarks on an adventure with the street-smart girl that he video-chatted with while on Mars, to discover how he came to be, and they fall in love. At the same time, other members of the space program race to return him to Mars due to his body not being used to Earth's environment, thus putting his life in danger. The film stars Asa Butterfield and Gary Oldman. Space Between Us opens on February 3, 2017. John Wick, Chapter 2. Legendary hitman John Wick is forced back out of retirement by a former associate plotting to seize control of a shadowy international assassins guild. Bound by a blood oath to help him, John travels to Rome, where he squares off against some of the world's deadliest killers. Keanu Reeves returns in a lead role that resurrected his career. This time around, he is joined by fellow Matrix alumni Lawrence Fishburne. The film also stars Common, Ian McShane, John Leguizamo, and Bridget Moynahan. John Wick Chapter 2 opens on February 10, 2017. The Lego Batman Movie. Batman goes on a personal journey to find himself and learns the importance of teamwork and friendship in hopes to save Gotham City from the Joker's hostile takeover. Will Arnett, Zach Galifianakis, Michael Cera, Rosario Dawson, Ray Fiennes, Mariah Carey, Jenny Slate, and Billy D. Williams lend their voice talents to the Lego Movie spinoff. The Lego Batman Movie opens on February 10, 2017. 50 Shades Darker. Following the events of 50 Shades of Grey, Anastasia Anna Steele tries to move on from her relationship with Christian Grey. A wounded Christian convinces her to resume their romance under Anna's conditions. As the couple begins their normal relationship, Christian's past threatens to tear the couple apart. Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan reprise their roles from the original. 50 Shades Darker hits theaters on February 10, 2017. The Great Wall. In the battle for humanity, an elite force makes a heroic stand atop the Great Wall of China to combat an army of monsters identified as the Teoti, beasts of great greed from ancient Chinese mythology. The horde of monsters creep up on the wall every 60 years, forcing the army, and apparently Matt Damon, to defend it. The Great Wall arrives in theaters on February 17, 2017. God Particle. A team of astronauts aboard a space station find themselves alone after a scientific experiment causes Earth to disappear. When a space shuttle appears, the space station crew must fight for survival following their horrible discovery. The film is the third installment in the Cloverfield film series and stars Daniel Bruhl, who portrayed Baron Zemo in Captain America Civil War. God Particle is slated to release on February 24, 2017. Logan. Years after the epilogue of X-Men Days of Future Past, an aging Logan, whose healing factor is starting to fail, and Charles Xavier protect a young girl named Laura who is very similar to Logan, and is being hunted by sinister forces. This is supposedly Hugh Jackman's and Patrick Stewart's last time playing the characters of Wolverine and Professor X, respectively. Logan is directed by the Wolverine director James Mangold and opens on March 3, 2017. Kong Skull Island. In the 1970s, a team of explorers and soldiers are brought together to venture deep into an uncharted island in the Pacific, unaware that they are crossing into the domain of the mythical Kong. Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, John Goodman, Brie Larson, and Toby Kebbell star in the second film in the Godzilla Kong cinematic universe following 2014's Godzilla. Kong Skull Island opens on March 10, 2017. Beauty and the Beast. In this live-action retelling of this Disney classic, Belle is a young woman who is taken prisoner by a beast in his castle in exchange for the freedom of her father Maurice. Despite her fears, she befriends the castle's enchanted staff and learns to look beyond the beast's exterior to recognize the true heart and soul of the human prince within, just as a hunter named Gaston is on the loose to take Belle for himself and hunt down the beast at any cost. Beauty and the Beast stars Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Kevin Kline, Ewan McGregor, Ian McKellen, Emma Thompson, and Luke Evans. Be our guest on March 17, 2017. Power Rangers. 5 troubled teenage student outcasts, Zach, Kimberly, Billy, Trini, and Jason, become the Power Rangers after learning that their town of Angel Grove and the world itself are threatened by Rita Repulsa, played by Elizabeth Banks, and her alien forces. This film is a reboot and a reimagining of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV series from the 1990s. Power Rangers morphs into cinemas on March 24, 2017. The Ghost in the Shell. Cyborg counter-cyber-terrorist Field Commander The Major, played by Scarlett Johansson, and her Task Force Section 9 thwart cyber criminals and hackers. Now they must face a new enemy who will stop at nothing to sabotage Hanka Robotics' artificial intelligence technology. Based on the Japanese manga of the same name, Ghost in the Shell opens on March 31, 2017. Fast and the Furious 8. The 8th installment in the High Octane franchise will be the first outside of Tokyo Drift not to star Paul Walker, who tragically passed away in 2013. Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, and his crew return for yet another go-around in this physics-defying thrill ride of a film. Not much is known about the plot yet, however. Dwayne Johnson, Tyrese Gibson, Michelle Rodriguez, Ludacris, Lucas Black, Kurt Russell, and Jason Statham all return to the series alongside Helen Mirren and Charlize Theron, the latter of which will be the villain of the film. Fast 8 is directed by F. Gary Gray and cruises into theaters on April 14, 2017. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Set 2 months after the first film, the Guardians of the Galaxy travel throughout the cosmos and struggle to keep their newfound family together, while helping Peter Quill learn more about his true parentage. Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax the Destroyer, Rocket Raccoon, Baby Groot, Yondu, and Nebula all return in the MCU's next installment of this crazy comic book come to life. Kurt Russell joins the cast this time around as Ego the Living Planet. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is directed by James Gunn and opens on May 5, 2017. Baywatch. Based on the television series of the same name, the film will star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Zac Efron, and a bunch of gorgeous ladies I've never personally heard of. David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson are also confirmed to appear in the film. Baywatch surfs into cinemas on May 19, 2017. Alien Covenant. Bound for a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy, the crew of the colony ship Covenant find what they believe to be an uncharted paradise. What the crew discover is a dark, dangerous world whose sole inhabitant is the synthetic David, played by Michael Fassbender, survivor of the doomed Prometheus expedition. This film serves as a sequel to Prometheus and a prequel to the original Alien film. Alien Covenant is directed by Ridley Scott and scares audiences everywhere on May 19, 2017. Life. Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds are part of the 6-member crew of the International Space Station that is tasked with studying a sample from Mars that may be the first proof of extraterrestrial life, but the sample proves to be more intelligent than expected. Life opens on May 26, 2017. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Captain Jack Sparrow is pursued by an old rival, Captain Salazar, played by Javier Bardem, who along with his crew of ghost pirates has escaped from the Devil's Triangle and is determined to kill every pirate at sea. Jack seeks the Trident of Poseidon, a powerful artifact that grants its possessor total control over the seas in order to defeat Salazar. Johnny Depp is the only one who can play Jack Sparrow, and he is back to do just that. Orlando Bloom returns to the series as Will Turner, and Brenton Thwaites is introduced as Will Turner's son. Jeffrey Rush and Kevin McNally also reprise their roles as Captain Hector Barbossa and Joshua E. Gibbs, respectively. Pirates 5 can be seen on May 26, 2017. Wonder Woman. In the early 20th century, the Amazonian princess Diana, played by Gal Gadot, who is living on the island of Themyscira, meets American military pilot Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, when he is washed ashore. After learning from him about the ongoing events of World War I, she leaves her home to bring an early end to the war. Wonder Woman will be the 4th entry into the DC Extended Universe following Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad. Wonder Woman drops on June 2, 2017. The Mummy. Tom Cruise will star in this reboot of the Mummy franchise and the first installment in the Universal Monsters Cinematic Universe. The upcoming Monsters universe is expected to reimagine all of the classic film monsters and have movies for The Invisible Man, which will star Johnny Depp, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, starring Russell Crowe, Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Van Helsing, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. The Mummy arrives on June 9, 2017. Cars 3. Blindsided by a new generation of blazing fast racers, the legendary Lightning McQueen, once again voiced by Owen Wilson, is suddenly pushed out of the sport he loves. To get back in the game, he will need the help of an eager young female race technician, Cruz Ramirez, with her own plan to win, plus inspiration from the late Doc Hudson. Proving that number 95 isn't through yet, he will test the heart of a champion on Piston Cup Racing's biggest stage against his new rival, Jackson Storm. Larry the Cable Guy also returns as Mater. Cars 3 opens on June 16, 2017. Transformers: The Last Knight. The 5th installment of the live-action Transformers film series and a direct sequel to 2014's Transformers: Age of Extinction. The film is directed by Michael Bay, with Mark Wahlberg and Stanley Tucci reprising their roles from Age of Extinction alongside Josh Duhamel, Tyrese Gibson, and John Turturro from the first 3 films. This will be the 5th and final Transformers film to be directed by Michael Bay. Thank goodness. Transformers: The Last Knight hits theaters on June 23, 2017. Despicable Me 3. Gru, once again voiced by Steve Carell, faces off against Balthazar Bratt, voiced by South Park's Trey Parker, a former child star who grows up to become obsessed with the character he played in the 80s. Gru also gets into some sibling rivalry when he meets his long-lost twin brother Drew, also voiced by Steve Carell. Yes, the Minions will be back as well. Despicable Me 3 opens on June 30, 2017. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Following the events of Captain America: Civil War, Peter Parker, played by Tom Holland, tries to balance his life as an ordinary high school student in Queens, New York City, with fighting crime as his superhero alter ego Spider-Man. Michael Keaton will portray the villain known as the Vulture in the film. Marissa Tomei also returns as Aunt May, and Robert Downey Jr. will make an appearance as Tony Stark / Iron Man. Spider-Man: Homecoming swings into theaters on July 7, 2017. War for the Planet of the Apes. Following the events of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, once again portrayed by Andy Serkis of Lord of the Rings fame, Caesar and his ape colony are embroiled in a battle with an army of humans. When the apes suffer heavy losses, Caesar wrestles with his darker instincts as he resolves to avenge his kind. The battle puts Caesar against the humans' leader, a ruthless colonel played by Woody Harrelson, in an encounter that will determine the fate of their species and Earth's future. Apes on Horses return on July 14, 2017. Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a highly anticipated upcoming British war film written, co-produced, and directed by the Dark Knight and Inception director Christopher Nolan. The story is set in World War II and centers around the Dunkirk evacuation and hitting the big screen on July 21, 2017. The Dark Tower. Jake Chambers, played by Tom Taylor, is a young 11-year-old adventure seeker who discovers clues about another dimension called Midworld. Upon following the mystery, he is spirited away to the land Midworld, where he encounters the lone frontiersman knight Roland Deshawn, played by Idris Elba, who is on a quest to reach the Dark Tower that resides in Endworld and reach the nexus point between time and space that he hopes will save Midworld from extinction. But with various monsters and a vicious sorcerer played by Matthew McConaughey hot on their tail, the unlikely duo find that their quest may be difficult to complete. The Dark Tower drops on July 28, 2017. The Lego Ninjago Movie. 6 young ninjas are tasked with defending their island home of Ninjago. By night, they're gifted warriors using their skill and awesome fleet of vehicles to fight villains and monsters. By day, they're ordinary teens struggling against their greatest enemy, high school. Sounds a lot like Power Rangers, doesn't it? This animated film will be the second spin-off from the Lego Movie, coming to theaters on September 22, 2017. Blade Runner 2049. This sequel to Blade Runner sees Harrison Ford reprise his role as Rick Deckard. It will also star an ensemble cast including Ryan Gosling, Robin Wright, Dave Bautista, and Jared Leto. Not much is known about this film other than that right now, so stay tuned for more. Blade Runner 2049 will open on October 6, 2017. Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Eggsy, Merlin, and Roxy head to the United States to join forces with Statesman, their U.S. counterpart, after the Kingsman HQ is destroyed by Poppy, a nefarious American mastermind. Taron Egerton, Julianne Moore, Halle Berry, Mark Strong, Channing Tatum, Jeff Bridges, and Colin Firth will star. It will be interesting to see if Firth's character of Harry Hart will somehow be brought back in the sequel since he was literally shot in the head in the first one. Oops, spoiler alert. Kingsman: The Golden Circle opens on October 6, 2017. Geostorm. As a man heads into space to prevent climate-controlling satellites from creating a storm of epic proportions, his brother discovers a plot to assassinate the president. Gerard Butler stars in this Dean Devlin-directed film that is released on October 20th, 2017. Thor: Ragnarok. Ragnarok means the end of all things. Thor 3 is intended to be the sequel to 2011's Thor and 2013's Thor: The Dark World and the 17th film installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film is directed by Taika Waititi and will star Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk Bruce Banner, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Anthony Hopkins as Odin, Idris Elba as Heimdall, Kate Blanchett as Hela, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster, and Carl Urban as Scourge. It is expected that Benedict Cumberbatch will also make an appearance as Doctor Strange. Thor: Ragnarok hammers theaters on November 4th, 2017. Justice League. Months after the events of Batman vs. Superman, inspired by Superman's sacrifice for humanity, Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince assemble a team of metahumans to face the catastrophic threat of Steppenwolf and the parademons who are on the hunt for 3 mother boxes on Earth. Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and Henry Cavill return as Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman respectively. New cast members include Ray Fisher as Victor Stone / the Cyborg, Ezra Miller as Barry Allen / the Flash, and Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry / Aquaman. Returning cast members Amy Adams, Diane Lane, Jeremy Irons, and Jesse Eisenberg will be here as well. Justice League will be the 5th film in the DCEU and will open on November 17, 2017. Coco. Coco will be a Pixar film that follows a 12-year-old boy named Miguel who sets off a chain of events relating to a century-old mystery, leading to an extraordinary family reunion. The film will be inspired by the Day of the Dead. Coco arrives on November 22, 2017. Star Wars Episode 8. From all reports, Episode 8 will pick up almost immediately after The Force Awakens, furthering the storyline of Rey, Finn, Poe Dameron, Luke Skywalker, and many more as the battle between the Resistance and the First Order wages on. Laura Dern from Jurassic Park and Benicio del Toro join the cast in unspecified roles this time around. Episode 8 opens on December 15, 2017. Jumanji. In a brand new Jumanji adventure, the tables are turned as 4 teenagers are sucked into Jumanji's world, pitted against rhinos, black mambas, and an endless variety of jungle traps and puzzles. To survive, they'll play as characters from the game. Meek Spencer becomes a brave explorer, played by Dwayne Johnson. Hulky Jock Fridge becomes a tiny genius, played by Kevin Hart. It Girl Bethany becomes a bookworm professor, played by Jack Black. And unathletic Martha becomes an Amazonian warrior, played by Karen Gillian. To beat the game and return to the real world with their lives, they'll have to start seeing things in an entirely different way. It has been reported that this film will also pay tribute to the late great Robin Williams. Jumanji opens on December 22nd, 2017. Okay, so the movies from here on out don't really have much of a plot synopsis yet because the movies are so far out, but they do have release dates, so I'm going to run them down a little bit quicker, and that way we can get through all this. Pitch Perfect 3, the sequel to Pitch Perfect 1 and 2, obviously, will open on December 22nd, 2017. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith will return in Bad Boys for Life, the third installment in the Bad Boys franchise, on January 12, 2018. Provided that movie is a success, it's already been announced that Bad Boys 4 will open on July 3, 2019. The third installment of the Maze Runner franchise, Maze Runner: The Death Cure, will premiere on January 12, 2018. Gerard Butler will return in yet another sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, entitled Angel Has Fallen, likely sometime in 2018. Arnold Schwarzenegger may or may not make an appearance in The Predator, but the Shane Black-directed film will open on February 9, 2018. The third installment of the 50 Shades franchise, 50 Shades Freed, will open on February 9, 2018. Chadwick Boseman will reprise his role of T'Challa from Captain America Civil War in Marvel's Black Panther, and that will open on February 16, 2018. Avengers Infinity War will be the culmination of the entire MCU so far, and the battle against Thanos will finally come to a head on May 4, 2018. The MCU just keeps rolling on with Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly starring in Ant-Man and the Wasp on July 6, 2018. In 2019, Marvel will introduce us to Brie Larson as Captain Marvel on March 8, 2019, and another untitled Avengers movie on May 3, 2019. Plans beyond that are unknown, but Marvel has already set aside dates for 3 more untitled films in 2020, and it's been reported Marvel has plans for films beyond 2025 already. John Boyega from The Force Awakens will headline Pacific Rim 2 Maelstrom on February 23, 2018. Fox has scheduled 4 untitled X-Men Marvel films after Logan, and the first is scheduled for March 2, 2018. Many believe this will be Deadpool 2, but for now that's unconfirmed. The others are scheduled for June 29, 2018, November 2, 2018, making 3 X-Men films in 2018 alone, and the last film is scheduled for February 14, 2019. These have been rumored to be anything from X-Force to New Mutants to a new X-Men team film to possibly even Gambit or Deadpool 3. It's really hard to say at this point. God forbid. Maybe even a Fantastic Four sequel after that horrible film in 2015. Thanks a lot, Josh Trank. The Tomb Raider reboot starring Alicia Vikander will hit theaters on March 16, 2018. Steven Spielberg will adapt the 2011 science fiction and dystopian novel of Ready Player One by Ernest Cline to film on March 30, 2018. There are several untitled live-action Disney fairy tale films that are scheduled between now and the end of 2019. They will more than likely be the confirmed live-action adaptations of The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and The Jungle Book 2. Mulan already has been confirmed to be coming on November 2, 2018. Dwayne The Rock Johnson will star in the video game adaptation of Rampage on April 20, 2018. Ape, lizard, wolf, and all. Star Wars will be going strong in the years to come with a few more titles scheduled for release. Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover will portray a young Han Solo and Lando Calrissian in the Han Solo standalone film on May 25, 2018. And then on May 24, 2019, Episode 9 will be the culmination of the sequel trilogy. Another untitled standalone film has also been tentatively scheduled for 2020. Possible titles could be a Boba Fett film or an Obi-Wan Kenobi film. Although Michael Bay is said to be done with the Transformers series after Transformers: The Last Knight, Transformers 6 will be a Bumblebee standalone film on June 8, 2018, and Transformers 7 will then follow up a year later on June 28, 2019. Pixar has a lot of plans as well. After years of anticipation, The Incredibles will finally be getting a sequel on June 15, 2018. 1 year later, Buzz and Woody and the gang return for Toy Story 4 on June 21, 2019. In 2020, Pixar has 2 untitled movies arriving on March 13th and June 19th. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard will be back in Jurassic World 2 on June 22, 2018. The Secret Life of Pets 2 will hit the big screen on July 13, 2018. Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt returns on July 27, 2018 in Mission Impossible 6. Adam Sandler and his crew will bring you Hotel Transylvania 3 on September 21st, 2018. The DC Extended Universe has numerous films in the works and dates scheduled, but only one DC film has a confirmed release date, and that belongs to Aquaman on October 5th, 2018. The Flash will be getting a movie release at some point in 2018, most likely once it finds a director that does not leave the project. The other titles in the works beyond 2018 are The Batman, Man of Steel 2, Shazam, Justice League 2, Cyborg, Green Lantern Corps, Suicide Squad 2, and a Harley Quinn Birds of Prey film. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them also has numerous sequels planned. 4 more, in fact, every 2 years from now in November. Potterheads rejoice. Not to be outdone by Pixar, Disney Animation has a few titles in the works too. On March 9, 2018, a Wreck-It Ralph sequel with John C. Reilly will be coming to screens. Gigantic is an upcoming Disney animated film that will be a new interpretation of and loosely based on the Jack and the Beanstalk tale, and it's scheduled for release on November 21st, 2018. James Cameron has been talking about making Avatar sequels for years now. Recently, an untitled Fox Lightstorm film was announced to be arriving on December 21st, 2018, and many believe that date will be Avatar 2, considering Lightstorm is the company that James Cameron is most associated with. With Avatar 3 and 4 and 5 coming every 2 years after that in December through 2023. Emily Blunt will star in the sequel Mary Poppins Returns on Christmas Day, December 25th, 2018. Emmett and Wildstyle return in the Lego Movie 2 on February 8th, 2019. How to Train Your Dragon 3 sees the return of Toothless and Hiccup on March 1st, 2019. The Godzilla Kong universe continues with Godzilla 2 on March 22nd, 2019, followed by the colossal matchup of Godzilla vs. Kong on May 29th, 2020. The Fast and Furious franchise has release dates for installment 9 and 10 already in place as well for April 19, 2019 and April 2nd, 2021 respectively. There were even rumors of a Hobbs spin-off movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The popular video game Minecraft is even getting a movie on May 24, 2019. Harrison Ford, at the young age of 75, will be wearing the whip and fedora one more time in Indiana Jones 5 on July 19, 2019. And last, but certainly not least, the Broadway production of Wicked, based on the 1995 novel Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, is being adapted into a film scheduled for release on December 20th, 2019. Well, there you have it, everybody. Those are the movie releases that are coming in the next few years. I hope this sheds a little light on what is actually coming to theaters and kind of dispels some of the rumors that are out there. I hope this video has been informative for you. If you like this video, please rate and subscribe and comment on my video, and feel free to share this video as well. You can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Eric Gel. My name is Eric Hopkins, and until next time, God bless.